Okila. Am I disappointed with the turn-up? Certainly not. I am not disappointed. Every step of a great journey is started with that one step you take on the door. And I think 18 clubs confirmed their participation. In fact, 20. Some of them have reached out to say they are caught up at work because the previous day was a public holiday. That's understandable. So those who are here have gotten the message. So I'm not disappointed. My presidential bid is focused on 4 things that I've been talking about. Transformational leadership approach to things. A leadership approach that causes change in individuals and the people who are running in that office or running that office and the social systems of that particular sport. And that sport is volleyball. And my presidency is focused on not just change from one, dump here and take the other one. No. The presidency is focused on the change that has quantifiable, measurable metrics. They are data. You can see it and you can see the development of the game. Not just one side and then the other. That's transformational leadership. My presidency is going to be focused on rebranding the federation. The federation has not been branded since 1973. Its identity is not there. We need to create identity of this brand called volleyball and its federation so that we can market it and it's attracted to people who have money, and we're also attractive to people who play the game and people who watch the game. Without funds, without the supporters, without the money people, we're wasting our time talking. We cannot expand the game. So we need to rebrand the federation and get there. The third thing is going to be about creating the product of the federation. We must have a product. If we don't have a product, we can't sell. At the moment, we have the National League and the National Championship and the junior team tournament, the National Juniors. Those cannot be marketed because the federation doesn't have activities that can give value to whoever is giving us money. So my presidency is going to focus first in creating products that are sellable and marketable and sellable for volleyball, so that we can attract funding to volleyball and be able to grow the sport. Anything else we're talking about without money, we're going nowhere. Anything else we're talking about without strategic direction, transformative direction, where you can see a person change and volleyball change, we're wasting time. Then we need partners. Uganda Volleyball Federation is formed by clubs, premier clubs, district association, and institution whose district association is not yet formulated, right? Now, we have not been able to allow these clubs to function as a club, as clubs that owned the tournament. We need to rebrand the clubs. So my presidency is going to be focused on helping the clubs rebrand so that the clubs can do merchandising, be able to get sustainable economical activities in the club, like Arsenal will do, like Manchester United will do, or any other club. KCC is already doing it in Uganda in football. It is possible in volleyball, and we'll be able to do it. So we need to create those products, okay? Help the clubs find themselves. It is one of the reasons why they actually submit to the federation by paying their affiliation. That's the mandate of the federation. For years, my presidency is going to be focused on helping clubs find transportation as we rebrand the National Volleyball League to actually become a National Volleyball League going forward. Not that this thing of you have a league where you're playing here, the other team will come and play one tournament, come tomorrow. That's very expensive for the clubs. So all the clubs, all the schools, we're working on a project that allows them to actually retain fundings and have that funding to be able to buy transportation going forward all across. Okay? And we want to focus on every school, and we're going to be able to make sure the mandate of the federation is to provide that value proposition. The fourth thing I want to think about is putting the National Volleyball League on television. We have played it. I've just played for you a video, which we tested 4 years ago. For the last 12 years, I've actually been working on this thing to see how best can we market the game. Volleyball is a game of acquired skill. Each of those skills you get from there will give you opportunity to live and to survive in life, right? My presidency is going to be focused on talent development. Can we export talent out of Uganda? Okay, we had one boy outside Uganda who scored 500 points and plus, okay, and took a team in Turkey and now is playing in South Korea. That means that Uganda has very good talent, and so if we focus on that talent and talent development at grassroots levels through district association, we're able to build volleyball at school and go forward. Is it possible? Yes, we have been doing it for the last 4 years. And the Kabaka Birthday Volleyball event has showed you that talent can be developed at any level. Both of them have served in the federation. Both of them have showed us what they have done or what they've been able to do for Uganda Volleyball Federation. That is to the ability of their service to the federation is the sum total of what we saw and what we continue to see right now. Now, I am coming in not because I am better than them, but a different approach. The approach is different. I'm talking about transformative development plan, strategic direction to the game. They have not been able to give us that over the last couple of years, not because they don't want to, but that is what they were able to serve us. So my presidency is focused on transformative, all-inclusive, not patronizing presidency of the federation, not making development go to only one place. No, is opening up room for everyone to develop and to show direction for volleyball. First of all, thank you very much. Volleyball fall at others as a category at National Council of Sport. Why? Because we don't have value. We have not been giving value. You know? Anything that does not give value cannot attract value. So how am I going to change that? By one, rebranding the volleyball in the country. Two, restructuring the federation and its club and its members. Three, by making volleyball more attractive. Four, by putting volleyball out there for people to play. When people start to play the sport, we will see the value out of it. By four, or rather five, by taking the game of volleyball to the corporates and bringing the corporates to the game of volleyball. That way, we'll be able to walk to National Council of Sports and say, look, there is value. And in fact, National Council of Sport will be able to see the value in the game because the game will be vibrant. At the moment, the game is not vibrant, it's not there. That's the problem. So when we increase that, we'll be able to increase the value in the game. Everything rises and starts on leadership. If the leadership is weak and there is no direction, we cannot attract value. Neither can we give value. You can't give what you don't have. So we cannot take what we don't have from National Council of Sport. So we are going to increase that vote by making sure volleyball become a top entertaining sport in Uganda, out of Uganda, to the rest of the world. Every club. When we rebrand every volleyball club in the country or school, by giving them meaning to promote volleyball at that level. One, we're going to teach them how to train transformative leaders within the structures of the club. Two, show the clubs how to make money. Three, make the branding of the club, merchandising of the club begin to attract money so that the clubs have income generating activities coming in, okay, so that the funds who support those individual clubs are able to come and buy a jersey, buy a cape, and give that money. We sell that in bigger quantities. Now, I have been talking to one of the partners we want to bring on board, and he wants to sell cars. He's not been able to sell 600 cars like he was selling. His business has been hit by coronavirus to 300. So he came to me and said, what can I do? So I provided a marketing strategy for him. He said, okay, fine, come and work with volleyball. Okay, schools play volleyball, clubs play volleyball, but they don't have transport. How about if we get every club and instead of selling the van to them at 60 million shillings or 70 million, to every delegate coming to vote in UVF election, all of your clubs, district association, schools. Our constitution is very clear. Since 2008, we have not been respecting the constitution. We bring primary schools to come and vote. You are lied to, you come and vote. And then we go back like that. It's been 12 years. We can start all over again and do the right thing. So I am asking you this time around to look at yourself to see if you are worth the value of 20,000 or you want to develop the game for going forward. If you want the game to develop and your son or your daughter to be part of that game, then you're going to vote the ideas that is going to take volleyball forward and also vote the idea that is going to be held accountable for the development of volleyball in the country. So as we head to the election this weekend, I want you to come into that election and make the best decision that you will not regret for the next 4 years.
Sometimes people of the opposition.
Namanda has done her best. She served under Sadiq's administration as the first vice president. She has served under this administration as the president herself. The biggest take home for Namanda has been to inspire females to join the politics of volleyball, to join the service of volleyball, not politics, but to come and vie to be elected as people to serve in volleyball. Initially, we used to have that position of women in sport, just unopposed because it was very disinteresting. So I think that is the biggest achievement as far as volleyball is concerned. And it is also seen by the number of people who are contesting as female anyway. So anyone is able to see that. So that's a plus. COVID has hit all of us all across the world. And every sport across the world has been affected by COVID. What is my plan when elected president to put volleyball back? Number one, we want to restructure and take audit of the game itself. Where were we when COVID hit us? What was happening when COVID came? What do we need to do to fit in with this new situation that COVID has bestowed upon us going forward? Once we understand that, then we'll be able to say, this is how we are going to play the game going forward. This is how we are going to engage playing forward. There's going to be a lot of reorientation of everyone in volleyball, including myself. We've not played the game for a year. The volleyball is a game of acquired skill, and that means we develop 6 fundamental basics of the game that allow us to move. Now, inactiveness of a person from a health and fitness perspective means that many of them have put on weight. Many of them have put on either ladies could have gotten pregnant, conceived, men could have put on weight and unable to perform now. So first thing first is to start a health and fitness strategy for volleyball. And I'm a fitness coach. I will personally lead that to all the volleyball communities all across the country to go into health and fitness building to get volleyballers back and their muscles back to working. Once we do that, we look at the pros and cons and the risk metrics associated with playing volleyball. At the moment, volleyball has the lowest compared to all the sports, which means we just need to reorient everybody and tell them this is the new normal of what we're going to go, following all the SOPs and the risk metrics put in place by government of Uganda. Ebyengenda kuntandikira ddala, sokera ddala. Bija kuba ebintu ebikwatagana okulembeze omuntu nga omuntu ali ku leadership. Tulina okutandika okubeera nga abantu balimo tuli kwegamba. Now the word has refused. Okay. Ekyengenda kutandikira ddala ng'omuntu nga balonze ng'omuntu agenda kulemera volleyball. Njagala tandikira ddala ku ebintu bya integrity ng'omuntu agenda kulemera volleyball oba okutwala volleyball maaso. Njagala tutandike ne transformational leadership. A leadership y'omuntu ng'asobola okutwala abantu from point A to point B, ng'asobola okukwata omuzannyo ogwo gwa volleyball from point A to point B. Si ebintu bino okuyingira mu office nga okukulembeze n'otuula mu office n'otandika kubeera nga boss. Buli muntu ayagala okumanya ebintu byeriko ku emizannyo gwa volleyball nga toliyo, toyogera, tewali ssente, tewali kyetukola, naye nga tuli awo tetutambula. Ebyange bijja kubeera nga tutambula nga wamu ne buli muntu ali mu volleyball, buli muntu azanya volleyball, buli muntu ajja kulaba volleyball, buli muntu ateeka ssente ku volleyball. Ffenna tujja kufuna. Okuweno time yeno. Because oluvanyuma nkyalina ebintu byena kukola ku volleyball. Ate ebintu bingi nnyo. Ndaba nga volleyball tezinaba kutuuka eri level gye twagala kutwala volleyball. Ekintu ekyo is the reason why I've decided to come back to volleyball, to help volleyball. Ndaba nga abaana b'abantu bali awo bazanya volleyball naye nga tewali future mu volleyball, ng'olaba nga omuntu tasobola kutambula kuva wane Uganda oba okuva e Kampala negenda Lira oba okuva Lira n'ogenda Mbarara, tewali kubanga tewali planned. Kati nkomyewo okuteeka plan eyo okulaba buli muntu azanya volleyball asobola kutambula from point A to point B. Oba ozanya wane Kampala osobola kugenda eggulu n'ozanya volleyball. Oba ozanya wane Uganda osobola kugenda Kigali n'ozanya volleyball. Oba ozanya wane Uganda osobola kugenda Europe n'otandika okuzanya volleyball nga omuntu a playing a professional. Zembwa president aliyo kati akoze ekintu ky'amaanyi nnyo okuinspiringa abantu like ladies. How do you call them? Abakyala. Inspiring abakyala okukomawo ku ebintu bya volleyball, okulemera volleyball, otwala volleyball maaso. Ekintu ekyo teyabadde ku volleyball. tubadde n'ebintu nga oyogera ku volleyball ng'olaba abalenzi bokka oba abasajja bokka nga tolaba abakyala. Kati abakyala kati batandika okujja mpola mpola okuyingira ku ebintu bya volleyball, okutwala volleyball maaso. Ekintu ekyo kirungi nnyo ate yakoze ekyo okuinspiring abantu abo. Ku balonzi bonna ba volleyball, mujje ku luno tukole ekintu kiri kituufu. Tulonde omuntu gwe tusobola, tulonde idea ze tusobola, gwe tusuubira asobola kutwala volleyball maaso mu ggwanga waffe.